Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show. We are back.
Do you ever feel like we're being watched? I know this is a broadcast, but so right outside the window, I wish I could, if we were a more fly-by-night organization, I would have, I'd just go pick up a camera and move it. Mm-hmm. But standing right outside are what can only be described as three little boys.
You should bring them in here.
I don't know if that's a great idea. There's a lot of equipment in here. Hank Tepper, Max Tepper, and River Ortega are all outside the door. Hi, guys. They're watching.
This is definitely the cutest studio audience we've ever had.
This is the cutest studio audience. I should also, to that end, watch me pivot that. My wife is also outside, so hard to agree.
Yeah, cutest.
Cutest.
There we go.
The cutest.
Nice save.
There you go. Yes, they came to watch the show. They came to bro down. River and Hank and Max have become buddies.
I just want them to wave. Can they come in and just wave?
I'm telling you, that's a bad idea. And also,
you're really not giving people what they want, though.
I know, but River's mom, Brooke, is not going to let that happen because she's too cautious. Do you know what I mean? It's the truth. She's like,
I think we can single file line,
okay,
bunny ears and bubbles.
If you want to go,
you know what? They can come in here for a second. How about that?
Go
okay, I'm gonna go grab them.
Fine. You're listening to live coverage of Ashley Pickle herding a bunch of little men into her studio or into her control room so that they can all come say hi. That's what's going on here at the office. We turned the office. So today's the last day of summer for Hank because he starts kindergarten tomorrow. So here we go. They go. Hi guys. There's Hank and River. Hi guys. They see each other on the screen. They're making. Oh, we're gonna see if we can Max in here. Hank is starting kindergarten tomorrow. River's got school tomorrow. I think River just has a day off of school today. We're gonna try to get Max in here.
Yeah, we got to get Max in here.
Max in here. Get the trifecta in. It's summer for everybody. At the end
of
summer for everybody.
This is the best thing ever.
So the reason they're here today is that my wife had said. Oh, we need to come up and to see you at work one day during the summer, and you know how sometimes you do the you wait till the very last minute.
Here we go.
We'll see if your buddy.
Come here, Max.
Here's Hank.
Okay, Hank is back in. Can we get Max? Max,
wait.
There he is. Say hi, Max.
Max, can you wave? Okay. Well, now he's gonna be
he wants to see him up here. Ready?
You want to sit up there? Oh, there we go. There's
Look,
Max.
Can you see it, Max?
The Max monster. He's being silly.
There he goes.
There you go. We're the entire Tepper family.
This is a lot of Teppers.
This is a lot of Tepper.
This is the maximum amount of Teppers we've ever had in the studio.
One may argue too many Teppers.
No, well, you make it too many. The three of them are great.
I was gonna say, that's fine. Anyway, that's what it is because Hank starts kindergarten tomorrow, and so it's the last day of summer. And my wife, of course, is very on top of things. It's like, oh, last day of summer, we got to make sure we cross the last thing off on our list.
Oh yeah, I got a Hank Tepper original. By the way,
you did. Yes,
hang on, let's show this.
He did some painting this morning. Bang.
I like it, Picasso.
That's for you.
Fantastic.
That's for you. I got one too. Not to brag, but
I
also
yours
did
is
pay
less
for
special.
I did also pay for the art supplies.
So this is a gift for me.
I think I'm entitled to that. Yeah, it's much more special for you.
Trisha Pickle is in the comments, just absolutely losing her mind right now.
Yeah, well,
this is the best day of Trisha's life.
Yeah, we aim to please here on Texas football today. Okay, I do want to talk a little bit because I want to make sure this doesn't leave. This weekend, I don't know how much Olympics you watched.
A pretty good amount.
Did you lock into both basketball games?
The second half of the men's. I didn't get to see the first half.
So I was locked in to the men's game, and I got locked in. I was going to lock into the women's game, but the United States women have been so dominant that I was like, okay, well, I don't know if I want to watch an entire game where the United States is going to win by 35.
Right.
You know? But then I got a push alert at halftime, and it was 25-25, and I'm like, ooh, okay, I will get it. So I locked in for the second half, which was a spectacular basketball game. But the men's game, I got to tell you, the Steph, I think working in this industry, and I think you recognize this too, working in this industry, it's sometimes you have to tamp down your enthusiasm for sports because it's a job.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's your rooting interests kind of tamp down. I gotta tell you, during that second half of that men's game and during the second half of that women's game, I was going nuts. When Steph Curry started lighting it up there in those final 3 minutes.
It was insane.
That was
that last shot he made might have been one of the best basketball shots that you've ever seen.
It's amazing, like considering the circumstances.
Yes.
Right? Considering the circumstances of like a dagger to win a gold medal.
Insane.
in that
that
over a
fashion
double team.
too. It wasn't like it was a dagger that he was
like
uncontested
stepped into
or
it in rhythm or something.
Yeah, and it wasn't it wasn't a step back where you kind of had time to let that.
No.
I mean, I guess it was kind of a step back, but it wasn't like think of the Dirk step back. Like
Yeah.
that was elongated. You had time to like build. Steph literally just said boop,
And
it was like
catch and release, like a,
oh
like
my
a,
God.
like a quick release.
He shot it from his waist. It was
it's
like a frog shot.
It's crazy. And I don't know. It's kind of fun. I got to tell you, it's kind of fun to root for a team with LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry on it.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's like, oh, wow. Is this how like Warriors fans feel all the time? Is this how Lakers fans feel all the time? Because it's like awesome. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. The Olympics are now over, but good Olympics. Thumbs up to the Olympics. I thought the Olympics were good.
Yeah, they were very good.
Yes. Okay. Anything else? Do we have any other, do you have any children to bring in or?
No.
Okay.
I did get Ava back this weekend, my cat.
Oh, but no Ava in the office?
No Ava in the office, no.
Okay.
But she's back.
Ava, that's the we have a hole in the wall to get
cords
through between the control room and the studio.
Ava is the only thing that has ever gone through that hole.
Really impressive agility by that cat. Got to be honest. All right, hit the theme expo. Yes, y'all. From the brand new Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a show that's also moonlighting as a daycare center. My name's Greg Tepper. I'm the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football Magazine and TexasFootball.com. Thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live at TexasFootball.com, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, or you listen to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I am sitting over there at the helm today, making us sound good. She is the Duchess of the Dorks, Miss 305. She is going to be at the first game at Pitbull Stadium. She's the Duchess of the Dork. She's Ashley Pickle.
If you give me if I can get the green light to expense that, I am there.
Isn't there a Pitbull song called Green Light?
I don't think so.
How do I know this and you don't?
I don't think there's one.
I'm going to send you it, and then that's going to be final thoughts today.
Okay.
I'm going to send it to you.
Anyway, if I can expense that, dolly.
Today is Monday, August 12th, 2024. It is 108 days till Thanksgiving. Happy birthday to Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Oh, solid.
Sir Mix-a-Lot turned 61 today. Happy birthday to Sir Mix-a-Lot, famous for Baby Got Back. It's episode 1789. On today's show, folks, we're going to catch you up. And we'll talk about that. It's called TXHSFB ICYMI.
Because you couldn't make things more complicated.
Basically, I want to get you up to speed if you forgot that football existed for the last 7 months.
Which, fair.
We're going to get you up to speed.
There are other sports.
On everything talking specifically about major realignment headlines and coaching changes. In the back half of the show, Matt Stepp at the THSCA Coaching School and Convention caught up with the head coach of the Longview Lobos, friend of the show, John King. We'll hear what he thinks about his Longview Lobos coming up here at the back half of the program. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was Ed McElroy, Daniel Agnew, Joey Hill, and jersey number 69. Welcome in, fellas.
Nice. Very nice first four through the door. Welcome in, fellas. We appreciate you spending a little bit of your day with us. Okie dokie. So when I conceived of this segment, I started thinking about the time in the calendar. Today is August 12th, and we are about 2.5 weeks away from the first football season, or first week of the football season. And it struck me like you and I have been doing a show all off season.
Mm-hmm.
We have never stopped thinking about high school football across the state of Texas.
No, this is a 365
Correct.
ordeal.
However, let's also recognize that you and I are weird.
Yes.
Yes, we are not the norm.
That might be the most factual thing that has ever been said on Texas football today.
And so we are the odd ones. We are the ones who have, in a lot of ways, broken the norm and have paid attention to high school football throughout the course of the offseason. Mm-hmm. It maybe you have checked out, and maybe the last time you thought about Texas high school football was back in December.
Good for you.
And that's okay. Listen, we are not here to shame you. We are not here to shame you because you obviously have other important things to do.
We hope that you start thinking about it around like July 4th when the magazine comes
Mm-hmm.
out, or even earlier for subscribers. But if you took off before then you're fine.
If you took off this off season, that's okay. What I want to do is I want to spend a couple of episodes over the next couple of weeks getting you up to speed on what you've missed so that when we get to 2 weeks from Thursday, which is the opening night of the Texas high school football season, you'll be like, I know exactly what I'm looking at. And so we're going to break it up into a variety of different segments. And the first one I want to talk about is a big thing that happened in February. You see, every other year, the UIL realigns the districts, realigns the classifications, and it's even years is the way to remember it. So February 2024, we had UIL realignment, which is where the UIL kind of rejiggers the districts and the classifications. And of course, if you look in the 2024 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, you'll be able to see where every team is, right? You'll be able to see that this team is in this district, this team is in this district, et cetera. But from a statewide perspective, perhaps like you just like glazed over and you're like, okay, what does all this mean? And so from a realignment perspective, I just want to give you like the big headlines so that you can know what you're talking about at the water cooler whenever people are talking Texas high school football, get you up to speed on what you missed for UIL realignment. And so there are a number of headlines from UIL realignment across the state when they came out in February. These are the big ones to know. Okay, DeSoto was a team we had our eye on heading into realignment because they have a 5A enrollment. You may remember they're the two-time defending 6A Division II state champions. They have a 5A enrollment. The question was, are they going to opt up? Are they going to stay in 6A or going to play at 5A? They decided to opt up and stayed in 6A. That is one big thing to note. Speaking of 6A, Longview, now a 6A team. A team we're going to hear from John King coming up here in just a little bit, but that is a team that made the leap up to Class 6A. A couple of other notable teams that moved up to 6A, Forney, Fulshear moved up, Lancaster moved up, Corpus Christi, or rather Lubbock Cooper moved up to 6A. So these are, no, I'm sorry, there was 582.
I still think the craziest thing is that the Longview, Lancaster, North Forney all moved. They were in the same district and all moved
together.
up. That's crazy.
So not Lubbock Cooper, but Longview. Those are teams that moved up to 6A. Mm-hmm. In 5A, a couple big time headlines. Smithson Valley, a team that played for the 5A Division I state championship, moved over to Region 4. Last year, they were the champions of Region 3. They moved over to Region 4 where they'll play more South Texas teams in a path to make it back to AT&T Stadium. Probably the biggest headline across realignment would be the one there on the second one on the right, Port Neches Groves, the 5A Division II state champion. Of course, played in the title game the year before. They have swung over to Region 2. They were in Region 3 last year. They move over to Region 2. Why does that matter? That is a huge, huge deal because that means they flip sides of the bracket. The comparison I would make would be that if the Houston Texans suddenly moved into the NFC, like the whole game changes. Their entire path changes.
Because their region is now with South Oak Cliff.
Absolutely. They're in the same region as South Oak Cliff. So only one of those teams will make it to the state championship game, if any of them do.
Yeah, just wild.
That is a huge, huge headline across realignment. Ashley Pickle. Speaking of 5A, 4A Division I state champion Anna moved up to 5A. They're now in 5A Division II as well. That is something that we knew going into realignment, but again, in case you missed it, they're now going to be in 5A. Speaking of moving up, Brock, a team that has made hay in 3A, a team that won a state championship back in 2015, has been on the state championship stage a number of other times. They finally grew to the point where they are now a 4A team. They are now a 4A Division II team is Brock. Stephenville is another team that changed regions. This is a team that we have number one in 4A Division I to start the year. They are now in Region 1. That is a team to keep an eye on there in Stephenville. Toller, Toller was a team that played for a state championship in 2A Division 1 a year ago. They are now 3A Division 2. So
with a new head coach.
New head coach. It's Jeremy Mullins left to go be the offensive coordinator at Eagle Mountain, which is a new program there in Saginaw. Speaking of contenders and speaking of movement, Stratford. Stratford was a team that was a 2A Division 1 state semifinalist. Remember, they lost to... Who did they lose to in the 281?
Stratford?
They lost to Toller.
Yes, yeah, they lost to
Toller.
Snake Farm.
They lost to Toller in the state semifinal. They are now moving down to Division 2. So things should, theoretically, are going to be the big fish in the small pond now. And then also, in the six-man ranks, Gordon and Oglesby. Gordon, of course, won the 1A Division 1 state championship with guys like Ry Reed. And Oglesby, which came up short in the 1A Division 2 state championship, they changed regions. They both moved from region, I believe they both moved to region 3, if I remember correctly. He said confidently. We'll go with it. Anyway, so those are the biggest realignment headlines that, as far as when you take a look at what UIL Texas high school football is going to look like in the fall, those are the things that you might have missed as far as changes are concerned. But speaking of changes, Pickle, there's also a number of coaching changes that you need to know about. Across the state of Texas, literally hundreds of Texas high school football coaching changes across the state. We have them all tracked at texasfootball.com. But if you don't want to read that whole page on texasfootball.com, here's the headlines. In 6A, this one came down literally while we were gone, Pickle, like a couple weeks ago. Matt Meekins retires at Spring Westfield. After a really nice run. Of course, he took over for his brother Corby Meekins, who was at the University of Houston on Dana Holgerson staff, I believe. Might have been on the Major Applewhite staff, actually. But in any case,
he was there during the Dana era as well.
But Desmer Black, their defensive coordinator, is going to take over. But that's huge doings because Spring Westfield, a perennial power. Hewitt Midway has a new head coach and is a familiar name, Joe Gillespie, who, of course, was the offensive coordinator for TCU in their run to the College Football Playoff National Championship game a couple years ago. He is the new head coach at Hewitt Midway. In 5A, a changing of the guard in the Valley as John Campbell retires at Edinburgh Vela, a guy who has been a mainstay in the Rio Grande Valley, now moves on to retirement. He is replaced by McAllen defensive coordinator Ernie Alonzo. He takes over there at Edinburgh Vela.
Real fast, Gillespie was the defensive coordinator at TCU, wasn't he?
Offensive coordinator, I thought. Defensive coordinator.
I think it was defensive coordinator. Let me look it up. Yeah.
Defensive coordinator.
And linebackers.
That's wrong. Okay. Todd Dodge, probably the biggest headline. Todd Dodge is returning to the sideline after retiring after the 2021 season. Todd Dodge is returning to the sideline at Lovejoy in the DFW Metroplex in the 5A rank. So Todd Dodge will return to Texas high school football. It's a new era at Corpus Christi Calallen. You may remember that this is a program that has had pretty much unmatched consistency at the coaching on the sideline. Steve Campbell took over for Phil Danaher. They were basically two peas in a pod. So you essentially had the same head coaching staff for 45 years, basically. Yeah. He retired, and now Charlie Reeve moves over from Victoria East to be the new head coach at Calallen, where huge expectations on him. Clay McChristian is taking over at Graham. He's a defensive coordinator, got promoted after the retirement of Kenny Davidson, who is the winningest coach in Graham history. So big shoes to fill for Clay McChristian. East Bernard has a new head coach. They went and poached Jeremy Jenkins from Harmony. Jeremy Jenkins had done a fabulous job turning Harmony into a power the past couple of years. Now he will go and take over at East Bernard. Wall has a new head coach for the first time in what feels like forever, at least for the last 18 years. Houston Guy has retired, and Craig Slaughter, their defensive coordinator, who does have history as a head coach at places like Sweetwater, Hearn, and Llano, takes over there at Wall. In the 2A ranks, the 2A Division I state champs, Timpson, they have a new head coach. Kerry Thurway retired. They promoted Patrick Gandy, their defensive coordinator, to be the next head coach of the reigning 2A Division I state champion Timpson Bears. And another big headline down there on the coast, four-time state champion Jason Herring retired at Refugio. A guy, quite simply, one of the most successful coaches in Texas high school football history. A guy who went 224-24 in his 17 seasons. He retires. Drew Cox, the defensive coordinator, takes over there at Refugio. So those are some of the coaching changes. There's literally hundreds of them you can find on TexasFootball.com. But for now, those are the ones that you probably need to know to get up to speed for Texas high school football, which, again, starts in like 17 days.
Yeah.
It's like around the corner. So we're trying to get you up to speed in case you slept through the offseason, because we did not. That's why we look so tired. So there you go, in case you missed it.
Craig Slaughter was the head coach at Atlanta when I was in high school.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have. I could go back in the archives and find some real rough cut interviews that I used to do with Coach Slaughter. But he was always the nicest guy and let me stumble through my first interviews.
Kind of seems like a target for WTF.
Yeah, it really should be.
See,
no, I need to get Miss Slaughter on.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
There you go. We can make it happen. Anyway, that's in case you missed it. We are Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com. No, we're not. We're here Mondays and Thursdays at noon on TexasFootball.com. Talking football on the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. I want to remind you to go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe to become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. Get the 2024 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football mailed to you right now, plus exclusive access to Texan Live, our streaming platform, where you can watch thousands of Texas high school events, including hundreds and hundreds of Texas high school football games, including hundreds of Texas high school football playoff games live on your device as part of your Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscription. Also on Texan Live, coming on Fridays, starting 2 weeks from this Friday. The return of Texas Football Tonight, our outstanding whip around program in which we take you inside all of the biggest games across the state of Texas live with a reaction from the Dave Campbell's Texas Football crew, starring Ashley Pickle, Ishmael Johnson, and myself.
The gang's all here.
So there's some news.
Yeah. We'll be on your airwaves on Friday night again.
Friday night. We'll be back. But speaking of which, today starts the rollout of our new fall schedule, our fall programming schedule, in which we will be live at noon every single day. Texas Football Today, Mondays and Thursdays. Republic of Football on Tuesdays. It'll be Women Talking Football, WTF, on Wednesdays. I mentioned Thursday, TFT, and then Friday, Tep and Step, starting in season, the video version of Tep and Step. Don't worry, the podcast version is still exclusive to subscribers, but on Friday, you can watch the video version of Tep and Step starting here in a couple of weeks. So we're very excited about our fall programming slate. Coming up here in just a moment, Longview head coach John King on whether or not his team will field 11 players. But first, a word from these goods and services.
I feel like bustin' loose, come on. Get on up. Oh yeah, get on up. Bustin' loose when you wanna sing. Bustin' loose, baby, do your thing. Talking about bustin' loose, yeah.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Potter, Executive Director of Be Well Texas. Too many people are struggling alone these days, and alcohol and drug deaths are increasing. We started Be Well Texas to offer high-quality, science-based addiction treatment and recovery services anywhere, even at home. We provide compassionate, caring support virtually or in person. In many cases, there is no cost for treatment if you don't have insurance. Really. Welcome to Be Well Texas. We're glad you're here.
Wing is the largest residential drone delivery provider in the world, delivering to your home in less than 30 minutes. Order using an app just like other popular delivery services, and Wing's automated drone takes care of the rest. It's fast, safe, and sustainable, and it's now delivering to parts of Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. You can learn more at wing.com/TexasFootball. Again, that's wing.com/TexasFootball.
Matt Stepp, Dave Campbell's Texas Football, back here at the Texas High School Coaches Association and Convention here in beautiful San Antonio, Texas, here with the head coach of those Longview Lobos, Coach John King. Coach, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with us. A busy first day of coaching school.
It is. It's going to be a great convention. I think they're expecting over 17,000 in attendance this year, which will be a record. But yeah, great to be here. And this tells you that the start of the season's close.
Yeah, it's not
real close.
It's not long. And so for you, I was making a mention that, the last couple of years you had to wear a suit and tie. You were looking good, but I know you're a little more comfortable now. It's nice to just be in some normal coaching clothes, right?
Yes, it is, and to be in normal coaching clothes, and the first thing on my itinerary today was this interview. Instead of having to be here at 7:30 for registration.
There you go. Well, we appreciate you making a few minutes to chat with us. I saw your itinerary. You got a busy one as always.
Yeah, tomorrow will be hectic, but today's pretty calm.
There you go. Well, Coach, let's talk about your ball club a little bit. Last year, 11-2, ball club, 5A Division I, Region semifinalists, and I know for you guys, the expectations. There's no secret. The expectations are high in Longview, and that's just part of the job. But I feel like people will say, "Oh, Longview 11-2, that's a disappointment." I wouldn't view. 11-2 season for you guys. That's still a good year. How long? But I know you have a desire to bring home another state championship. So when the season ends, how long for you personally does it take for you to kind of, I don't want to say get over it, but kind of get ready for next year? How long do you kind of think about that?
The expectations are to win at a high level at Longview. That's never going to change. And I was disappointed in the outcome. 11-2. I'm appreciative of what we did and proud of what the kids did. And we get beat in the regional semifinals by a field goal with a chance to advance. But for me, tough games like that, it's hard to get over.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen in a week, doesn't happen in a month, and some of those don't happen in a year.
Sure,
because you think about the chances of what could have been. And I hate it for the kids and the families that are involved because they get a 4-year window. I get to keep coaching.
To them, right?
I get to keep coaching. Those guys, their career's over, and I feel for those guys. But in the same sense, I'm proud of them and what they represent.
But when you're here now, it's like you're looking ahead. The hope of everybody's undefeated. Everybody's got the promise of a new season, and I know that kind of, I don't want to date you, but you've been around a little while. But this gets you energized, right? When you're here and you're amongst fellow coaches, it just gets you ready. And the pads are about to start popping, right?
Yeah, everybody's 0-0 and right now, and feeling good about it. Everybody's got questions, I'm sure, looking for answers. Whether it's personnel, whether it's finding coaches, or a player issue. So it's an exciting time, and as I said, to kick off a coaching school, let you know that summer's over. Start of football season's here.
So do you guys have strength and conditioning still going, or is it more now? Do you kind of modify your schedule now once you get back from back to Longview?
Well, we'll go back and finish out this week when we get back from the convention, and we'll go one more week after that with our high school age kids, and then give them a week off when we start freshman practice for them to kind of recharge and get things they need to get done before the start of school. So, but we try to keep them as busy as we can, and summer's been good. We hadn't had too terrible hot weather. We've had to work around some rain, some severe storms that we've had in the area, but all in all, it's been a good summer.
Now, when you look at you guys moving up to Class 6A, and we've talked about it a couple times, where you kind of thought there was a chance you're going to move up to 6A and going into 6A. Your new district, I think it's tough. There's no doubt about it. But your district in 5A was pretty tough as well. So when you got your packet in UIL realignment there in February, what were your overall thoughts on the new district?
Well, I kind of figured it would go one or two ways. Would we be with Rockwall or would we be with Mesquite? Because I figured that Forney, North Forney, Royce City, they had to go with us and Tyler somehow.
They're furthest east.
Yeah. So there's not many 6As out in East Texas, but it's going to be an exciting district. There's some really good football teams there. Get to rekindle some old rivalries with the Rockwall schools I mentioned back in the district with Tyler Legacy. New schools are North Forney and Moore City that we don't know much about, and they've had some coaching changes. And then, of course, Forney, Jeff Fleener and the Jackrabbits, they had a great year last year, and they got most of them back, and we've been in the district with them, so we're a little more familiar with those guys. So, but 6A Region 2 is going to be tough. There's some monsters in that region, and you just hope that you're one of the 4 teams that makes a postseason and see what you can do.
Then after that, it's kind of a 1-week season every week, right?
That's all it ever is. Yeah. Regardless of what classification you're in or what the expectations are in terms of, everybody expects you to win state or make a deep playoff run. It's a 1-game season, and if you don't play well, you're going home.
Yeah. When you look at your ball club, I think there'll be a lot of new faces for the Lobos this year. I know you lost a really good senior class. And you guys went through spring ball, so I know you got to work some things out and get a look at your guys. Do you have a feel yet or a good idea of what your ball club's personality is going to be? I mean, I kind of have an idea knowing what a Coach King ball club looks like, but what's your take on your team and their personality going into the season?
You know, well, the mindset of Longview's always been toughness and physicality, right? It was that way before I got there. We just fed off of that, and that's still going to have to be what we hang our hat on. You know, you go through spring ball, and I say it like this: it's apples on apples, because you're going against yourself, and you may not have quite the competition across from one another in the line of scrimmage that you may see on Friday night from an opponent. So you don't really know. There's still that the factor of, you know, are we really that good or are we really that bad? You don't know until you play somebody else. We're going to be young. We're going to be inexperienced. We lost the entire secondary. Never have had that happen before. I mean, when I say the entire secondary, the ones and the twos, I mean, they were all seniors. So we're going to have to move a bunch of guys up to play varsity football that don't have very much experience there. But, you know, we've got some good young kids we're going to fill in with. And then offensively, you know, we lose the great running back in Taylor Tatum.
Yeah, he's a good one.
But we've got some good running backs in the stable still.
Longview always has a couple.
We've got a few of those, and have a new quarterback this year. And you know, looking at it, you going into the spring, you think you're pretty good in the offensive line, because we had 4 guys back that had either started or played quite a bit. So that is the one area we do have experience. So all in all, young team, inexperienced team, but we just, you know, we need to play somebody else. We need to figure it out, and that's what our non-district schedule is going to do to us. You know, playing the teams we're playing with Lufkin, Marshall, South Oak Cliff, and Ruston out of Louisiana.
And you know, I know for you like you sometimes it's by necessity, but I think you also like to play that tough non-district schedule because you want somebody that can expose some of those warts, because then you have time to fix it and move some things around and make, because every year you got to adjust based on your kids, right? So if you play someone that's good enough to hurt you a little bit, you can fix it before district.
That's right. I want to know as soon as I can find out. You know, it's a deal where, you know, heck, let's play good ones all the way through, and because everybody's going to present different problems. You know, some teams may be spread, some may be power run teams, some play even front on defense, some play odd. You got to figure out what your kids can do versus all those looks, and I think that's what our non-district schedule will do for us. And it's going to be a tough one, but we need that, and to be prepared for a tough district race.
Looking ahead, I know in Longview, when I was out in East Texas at the 7-on-7, you know, I think just recently Longview passed a bond for some facility upgrades. How excited are you about those upgrades? What are you going to get, and what's that say about how the community of Longview feels about their students, and not just athletics but academics as well?
Well, you know, that's a commitment to excellence. What that is, that's a commitment that our community's made to our school district, and I'm fired up. I mean, we're getting things that we've been deserving, in my opinion, and we hadn't been able to do. But we're going to upgrade every athletic facility we got. You know, and we're going to get a new indoor. We're going to get a new natatorium that'll be the showpiece of East Texas, if not the state of Texas. Covered tennis courts. You know, going to redo Lobo Stadium. There's some things that need to be done there as far as upkeep.
Just keep that popcorn at Lobo Stadium.
We will keep popcorn there, and we're going to redo the press box, and then the Coliseum. We're going to redo some things there. But every athletic team is benefiting from that bond, and it was a $460 million bond. I mean,
big investment,
and it was the third time we had proposed a bond in the last 3 years, and we won it convincingly. So I think it's you know, the mindset of its time, and we need to do it for Longview.
There you go. Well, Coach, one thing I think people know about you is obviously your son Haynes and the things that he's done at Georgia Tech, but you also have another child who's a great athlete in her own right, and your daughter Steely, who's a elite gymnast as well. How rewarding and also challenging, because she's still got a job at Longview. How rewarding and challenging has that been to be able to go follow their careers as they compete in their respective sports at the next level?
You know, there's nothing I enjoy better than watching my kids compete, regardless of what sport it is. And you know, my daughter, she did it the hard way, and she had a lot tougher road than what Haynes did, because Haynes played football in Longview, which is, you know, as good as what there is in the state of Texas. She had to be a gymnast, and there's not many gyms out in East Texas, you know, but she was fortunate enough to go and become a college gymnast at TWU. She's been a national champion. She's been an All-American. She's had a great year and graduated with her degree. But you know, it is a challenge because, during football season, of course, Friday night game ends and I'm finding an airport going to Atlanta, or flying wherever on the East Coast because the closest game Georgia Tech plays to me is in Atlanta, So, and then in the spring, I'm able to go watch her.
I talked to you one day. You were in Philadelphia. Did you get a cheesesteak where you in Philadelphia?
I went to Geno's.
Was it good?
Yes, and I have seen some parts of the world I probably would have never seen. Went to places, but I enjoy it and just treasured every minute of it and try not to miss any of them.
Now, here's a question for you. It's an Olympic year, Coach.
Yeah.
And
we're in Paris.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if NBC Sports called you and said, "Hey, Coach King, we need a gymnastics analyst," do you know enough about gymnastics? You're a gymnastics dad, so could you be an analyst for NBC on the Olympic coverage?
I know as much about gymnastics as I do soccer.
Okay.
I know this. Those judges at those gymnastics meets,
are they worse than referees?
They're worse than referees.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, I want to holler at them sometimes.
There you go.
Particularly when it's my daughter.
You think they're used to getting hollered at by a football coach?
No, not hardly. But I can tell you, I enjoy watching gymnastics. You're talking about elite athletes.
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable what those men and women can do in those sports is a lot more than what I could do. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
I don't have the body of a gymnast.
For sure. And you're talking about committed. It's year round, and it takes a toll on their bodies.
Oh, yeah. But the strength, I mean, especially the female gymnastics, they're little. They're not big people like we are. They're as pound for pound as strong as anyone.
They're very explosive. Yeah. You're right, and they're tough. Believe me, they're tough, and they take some falls and they get up. And it's kind of like they say, no crying in baseball. They don't do much crying in gymnastics either. They're tough little old girls.
One other thing, Coach, is you've been doing this a while, and you get former players who become coaches, and I know you see them here at the convention, and you get former players who become head coaches. And I talked to one of your former players who became a head coach in Gordon Booker, who got the Seagoville job, and he had two things that I needed to ask you about. Well, actually not ask you, but I'll tell you about. The first thing he said was, ask Coach King if 7-on-7 gives him the red ass. Does 7-on-7 give you the red ass?
It gives me the screaming red ass. Yes.
And the second thing he told me was, he told me, he goes, that man, John King, is a second father to me.
Well,
and and I know that's not the first time you've heard that, but when you hear your former players say that about you, what's that mean about you, and what's that mean? That kind of speaks to the profession. But when you hear that, what's that mean to you personally when a young man says that about you?
It means that our program does them right. That's what I believe. I tell people all the time, I cross paths with these former players in the grocery store, and I don't know if they're going to hug me or hit me. I hope they hug me. But Buck Nasty, man, he of course I wish him the best of luck, but he's one of those guys that tough and did everything I asked of him, and he's a Lobo at heart, and I know he carries it with him, but man, love coaching guys like that, and he's going to do great things, and so fired up for him, because he had some things that went against him.
Sure,
had some other jobs and things, but he found him one, and he's going to make the most of it. He's going to treat those kids right, and he's going to do it the right way.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. I'll let you get to the rest of the convention as always. It's a pleasure to chat with you. And we kept Tepper away from you. I don't know where Catfish is, and so.
I saw him earlier. He didn't pick me to win it this year. I'm kind of disappointed. And he even picked us third in district. He said, "What do you think about that?" I said, "By the time you did your job right."
There you go. Finally.
Probably where we fit.
Well, Coach, appreciate your time and appreciate what you do for student athletes in the state of Texas.
Thanks, Steph.
Thanks,
appreciate
Coach.
you.
There he is, John King, finally giving me my flowers for picking them third in district.
I prefer when you don't give him flowers, or when he doesn't give you flowers.
But always a good time with John King there at the THSC Coaching School and Convention. We appreciate his time. As always, excited to see what the Lobos do, moving up to 6A. Let's go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts.
Just a reminder on the programming schedule. So this is the first week that we're officially launching our new fall schedule. So TFT today, ROF tomorrow, WTF on Thursday, TFT again on Thursday, and Tep and Step, the video version, on Friday. But tomorrow you can join Mallory Hartley, Ishmael Johnson, Carter Yates, and Mike Craven as they take you through some preseason college football stuff on ROF. So that's coming up at noon.
Noonish.
Not 2.
Nooner.
Noon.
Nooner tomorrow. Everything's at noon.
Everything's at noon.
Except Texas football tonight.
Which
will be, it would be weird if it was at noon.
Yeah, Texas football tonight at noon doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
No. That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to John King, head coach of the Longview Lobos, for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you Thursday on Texas Football Today.